Investigation by Stephen Meehan.
Tarian threw the doors open and marched into the makeshift lab. The cracked table bore the white-fleshed creature. He pointed at the milky corpse as he pulled the scientist closer.
What can you tell me about this thing on your slab?
Francis stepped away from his work and glanced around the room at his colleagues. When he saw everyone else glance elsewhere, he cleared his throat.
We've found nothing definitive.
Tarian's fist clenched as he looked at each of the scientists. When his gaze fell back on Francis, he licked his lips.
You've had this body for a week. Keldon told you I needed answers.
He did?
Francis said.
Then why have you been dragging your heels?
Tarian asked as he took a step towards Francis. While Tarian loomed over the scientist, he prodded the corpse's abdomen and his finger slid into the creature. With a shudder, he pulled it out.
Rotting or not, I need answers.
If our most sensitive equipment still worked, we'd have given you the intelligence already.
Francis wrung his hands, avoiding Tarian's glare. Tarian wiped the frustration off his face as he backed up, licking his lips.
We don't have that luxury.
Francis's gaze drifted toward Tarian, the corner of his eye twitching as he tugged his collar.
Well, we triggered its flesh into changing.
How?
What we might have seen could have been nothing but a twitch.
1, 2, 3.
Tarian said as he clenched a fist.
That's not helpful since I already knew the thing could alter its form.
Ease up.
Keldon said as he walked into the hall.
They're doing everything they can with what's left.
Tarian gripped his hair, grumbling.
Right now, a shapeshifter could stroll into our settlement and either kill us all while we sleep or cripple our critical defenses.
Keldon sauntered over and rested his hand on his friend's shoulder.
Considering their handicaps, they are doing well.
Tarian spun around and poked Francis's chest.
Tell me you've figured out how to beat their shapeshifting.
Francis looked at one of his colleagues and sighed. When none of his associates volunteered any information, he cleared his throat.
We may have found a way to force them back into their true form.
Tarian's lips curled into an unfamiliar smile.
Excellent.
But we can't guarantee it works.
Francis said, dousing Tarian's momentary hope. Keldon stepped forward, gripping his friend's shoulder.
What are the odds it won't affect them?
If you consider our sample was dead, we're not sure.
Francis's gaze dropped from Tarian's scrutiny. Keldon released Tarian and grabbed the scientist's shoulders.
Do you need a living one?
That might help us discover their secrets,
The scientist said.
considering the state of our equipment.
With a huff, Tarian began pacing around the room. While he walked, he lifted a preserved bit of the creature's skin. Placing the sample back, he turned his gaze to Francis.
You keep hedging your words. Have you discovered something that might neutralize these creatures?
To an extent.
Francis said, his shoulders slumping. Tarian clapped his hands and loosed a grin.
I need every advantage you can provide.
Keldon gripped Tarian's arm and tugged it.
What are you thinking?
They require a living subject to refine this,
Tarian knocked Keldon's hand off him.
which means we risk the terrain to capture one. However, that'll be difficult considering the overwhelming fear these shapeshifters spark.
That's a justifiable concern.
Keldon replied.
True, but this constant dread is only preparing us for our eventual defeat. No, we need to wrest control of the situation.
Tarian marched over to Francis and grabbed the scientist's shoulders.
You've done well making this discovery, but how much of the material did you synthesize?
The scientist shrank into himself, like a turtle retreating into its shell. His gaze darted around the room.
We've manufactured a healthy supply, but we're unsure about the dose required to affect these creatures, let alone if it works.
I don't mind hunting the shapeshifters,
Keldon's eyes narrowed upon Tarian.
but it's hard to isolate anything that's able to alter its shape at will.
The solution is twofold.
Tarian said as he joined his hands behind his back.
First, Lloyd must devise a way to weaponize the material Francis's team has synthesized.
You expect him to turn that into a weapon?
Yes, Kel.
Tarian concurred with a nod.
That's his specialty. My hope is that his creation can render them unconscious.
Francis inched between the two men and raised his hand to his shoulder. Tarian looked down his nose at the flabbergasted scientist.
Do you have a concern, Francis?
We cannot guarantee this solution will work the way you're hoping.
As Tarian's head sank, he walked to a wall and leaned against it.
And why is that?
The scientist's fingers started twitching as he backed away from Tarian and Keldon. He bit his lip while picking at an ear, his gaze drifting down.
Well, this material, there's a drawback. It's tied to their unusual genetic structure.
Tarian groaned and scratched his scalp. After several heartbeats, he gripped the scientist's shoulders.
What's the negative aspect of your concoction?
It might be a natural stimulant for the shapeshifters.
Why is nothing ever easy?
Tarian dragged his hands down his face and glared at the ceiling. Several seconds later, his gaze whipped to Keldon as he released his breath.
Kel, have Lloyd weaponize that material before nightfall.
And what's the second thing you want?
Keldon inquired as he dropped into a chair.
A method to verify everyone in this settlement is who they appear to be.
Tarian said.
Let me see if I understand.
Keldon raised his hands as he wrung his dry lips.
You desire a weapon with a dangerous side effect before we can even confirm who's real, or one of these doppelgängers?
Exactly.
Tarian said as he left the meeting hall. Keldon slumped in the chair as he buried his face in his hands.
I think I preferred the brooding.
With that, our story concludes. I hope you've enjoyed today's reprieve from your daily grind. If you like the vibe, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because every bit helps get this channel spread to those who require a momentary chance to unwind. I'll see you for the next tale, my friends.
Thanks for reaching the end of the video. But why not keep the rhythm going? Pick one of the videos on screen and settle in for another moment of escape. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe and tap the bell to get notified when new tales drop.